Hi friends, today I would like to give a short review on this bike. This is Bajaj Avenger 220 oil cooled. This is a 2013 model. I bought this bike a couple of months ago, maybe in April. Yeah, I guess in April. So I've driven this bike on all sorts of terrains and roads, and I've driven it at a stretch. So I would just like to give a short review about this bike, and it might help to people who actually are willing to um, buy this bike for their future use, or probably are looking to buy this bike. Um, so I would start off with first of all the physical ergonomics of this bike, and I would just like to tell you that what I've experienced so far on this bike, that I was not a very big fan of Bajaj initially before buying this bike. This is my first Bajaj bike. I've had Honda, Royal Enfield, Hero Honda, but again this is my first Bajaj bike, and I was kind of a bit doubtful about the bike and how the quality and everything would go. So I actually right now I have driven this bike almost 3,000, more than 3,000 kilometers, and so I think it's a good time to give a review about this bike. So this bike is a 220cc motor, and it is oil cooled. So basically the engine oil, it gets cooled in the radiator that's in the front of the bike. I don't know if you can see it or not. Maybe it's a cloudy day today, so yeah. So the engine oil gets cooled from the radiator that's in the front. So that helps maybe on the long drives, and if you want to go on a long drive about this bike on this bike, and it actually helps a lot for this bike to remain at a constant speed. The engine doesn't get harsh, and yeah. So this bike is mainly a sort of a family sort of bike, for the people who have family and are looking for a comfortable two-wheeler, and for the people who want a bike that is comfortable on long drives and don't want to buy Royal Enfields. So this is a very good option. They can really think about, I mean, apart from Royal Enfield, I think this is the only bike which you can think of under 1 lakh rupees budget. So I got this windshield also installed while buying this bike from the showroom. However, you can get it from the aftermarket, which would be less costly. This bike has exactly this 220cc motor from the 220 Pulsar, but this has been detuned and it's and it gives less power. Pulsar 220 has 21 bhp. This has got 19 bhp, so it has less power. But again, that in turn helps this bike on the long drives, because the engine is really not that heavy engine. It's a very calm engine, so you can actually cruise on between 80 and 100 continuously on the highway. And the best part about this bike is the sitting posture. This is really very comfortable. I'm a person who's 6 feet tall, and I'm a heavy person. I have about 95 kgs of weight. I'm not fat, but again I'm heavy though. But yeah, so for the people who are actually tall and think that this bike might be short, I don't think that's true. You can very well be comfortable on this bike. So apart from that, it has got front disc brake, and the headlight is really good. I've really had nice experience with this headlight while driving in the night times. I had recently gone on a now 1500, or I would say 1500 kilometer drive on this bike. I had gone alone, and this bike really performed very well. It never gave me any problem on the way, and it was really good. And apart from that, yeah, this is about the little bit of specification you can get on the internet as well. So I will just go ahead and get this bike started. So it doesn't have any backlit buttons on the bike, so you don't have any backlit buttons. It's just the regular buttons of normal quality, not very great. And this new model, that 2012 I guess onwards, they have changed this instrument panel, which is, it has got the neutral LED, the indicator, the battery, and then the high beam LED. So this is what, you don't have an RPM meter on this bike, so there is no RPM meter. You cannot check what is the RPM of the bike, and this fuel indicator, of course. So these indicators are a little bit difficult to see while you're driving in the daytime. The lights are not very bright, so that's a little bit of let down about these indicators. And this fuel gauge, if you give for a wash, or maybe you keep your bike stays in rain for maybe some time, you would see the moisture in the fuel gauge. I don't know if you can see. I don't know, my camera is not, this is a mobile camera, so yeah. So you get the moisture in the light, which is kind of looks very weird. Apart from that, the overall build quality, this is a heavy bike because it's mostly metal. It doesn't have any, apart from this side panels, these panels, it doesn't have any plastic parts. It's all metal. So as a result, this bike is heavy, and it's actually it looks quite solid. The other thing about this bike is the turning radius of this bike is huge. It's really it takes a really nice space to turn if you want to have a U-turn on the road. In fact, just to give you an example, it has more turning radius than Royal Enfield Thunderbird. I just compared it with one of my friends. So for people, it might be a little bit difficult for some guys who actually are not used to drive Royal Enfields, or maybe first timers for the Avengers. For them, driving this bike initially in the traffic could be a little bit difficult. Apart from that, I've heard people saying that the bike tends to slip while braking. Well, I think I have been on this bike, as I said, that on long drives, and I haven't had any of this sort of problem. The bike has never ever slipped, provided you feel the correct tire pressure. The front tire pressure is 22 and the rear tire pressure is 26, wherein on the normal bikes is 26-36. So you go to any petrol bunks, they tend to fill 26-36, but you have to tell them specifically that the front tire is 22, I'm sorry, and the rear tire is 26. So if the tire pressure is okay and you use both of the brakes together, so I think the bike doesn't slip in any conditions for that matter. For me, it hasn't slipped, so I'm really happy with that. So let's look at the engine here. So this is the motor of this bike. So this is one thing that I would like to show you. This is the engine oil level indicator. Now this is something which is hidden. Sometimes it makes a little bit difficult to see the oil level. Because it's kind of behind that pipe. Apart from that, this is the pipe for your oil circulation in the radiator. So this is the radiator actually. It's not a very big one though, but for I guess it's enough. So yeah, and this is your ignition, and this is your handle lock. So this handle lock is actually similar to the old Bajaj scooters locks we used to have. It actually Okay, so now this is the engine which looks, and it's a twin spark engine, as all the DTSI engines are. So let's go ahead and start this bike and see how it sounds. Before that, I would like to show you how we can lock this bike and unlock this bike. So basically, it may be a little bit difficulty for some people. Initially, even I had some problem, but then later I understood that it is used for how the old Bajaj engines, old Bajaj scooters used to have this lock. So basically, you have to push the key in a little bit and After you push the key, you have to kind of move your handle and rotate it and push it completely in, and along with that you have to really kind of keep on locking it as well. So basically the key for the locking of this handle is to move your handle along while you're locking. So this is, and unlocking is not a problem, so you just have to rotate the key and move your handle, the key comes out automatically. So unlocking is not a big problem. So locking is kind of initially you have to practice it for a little bit. So the ignition has one is off, then it is on, and then you have to push a little bit and you again push the key, so which actually it's sort of a parking thing, so you can it'll turn on the front parking light and the tail light of your bike. So right now the bike is in on neutral, I mean the on position, so ignition is on right now. So I would just first put the bike in neutral. So yeah, the bike is in neutral right now. So if you see, even though the bike is in neutral, the light is very dim. It's very difficult to make out in the broad daylight. It's cloudy right now though, but again that's the reason we are able to see it. But if it's bright sunlight, then again it becomes a little difficult. And now you see the battery indicator over here that says the battery is charged, and then the neutral indicator is over there that says it's in neutral. And let's go ahead and start this bike right now. So this is the engine kill switch for this bike, which is there with most of the Bajaj bikes. So I would like to start this bike. So if you see, the bike is actually really good. It sounds really good to me, at least. This is the sound note of the bike. So this is how it sounds overall. So my friends, this is all the review of the bike, and maybe it's the engine is right now a little cold, so that's the reason it's kind of turning off of itself. But yeah, if you run it a little, maybe 100 or 200 meters, the RPM comes to nominal level, and then it's fine after that. So this is the review of Bajaj Avenger 220s version, and it comes in 3 colors: red, blue and black. So I hope this would answer all your questions. If you have any questions, do post me on my YouTube comment section below. I will try and answer those as much as possible, and that's about it. Have a great day. Goodbye.